Hello Libra, my name is Alison and you are with Healing Dove Tarot. Libra, we're going to have a look at the love energy surrounding you from the 3rd to the 9th of December. A bit of a quick update, as I always do. The Mercury retrograde is almost over. It ends on the 5th or the 6th, depending on where you are, the 5th or the 6th of December. And excitingly, we have a new moon in Sagittarius. Hurrah! New moon's all about manifesting, okay? It's a perfect opportunity to, if you have a ritual or you have that kind of belief, to sit down and actually think about what it is that you want to draw in when it comes to your love life. You know, even by putting pen to paper and actually being very specific on asking for what it is that you want. I know that your readings, Libra, have been quite heavy for the last couple of weeks. You know, we've talked about repeating cycles, picking and choose your battles, finding balance, eject, you know, two people in this connection, staying grounded. Like there's been a lot of change, okay? And energy that's provoked change. And there's still a little bit of it here, I have to be honest. What I want you to know though is you always have a choice, okay? A lot of this energy is minor. There is a couple of major arcanas here, which means divinely guided. So they're big events that need to happen. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. You have two aces, so that's pretty exciting. So let's get started. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Hierophant. So a Taurus could be quite prevalent in your life. The Hierophant does also represent large institutions, marriage, that kind of thing, commitment. It's also quite a deeply spiritual card, okay? And I feel like, Libra, you're getting more and more aligned to who you are and what your life purpose is, because I can see that in the cards. You start off this week with the 8 of Swords coupled with the 6 of Wands. Now, the 8 of Swords speaks about, it's a card that can be a little bit of mental energy, of feeling a little bit stuck. If you suffer from anxiety or depression, I have the 9 of Swords here as well. So that's kind of like a progression for me from the 8 to the 9. So just be really careful of your thoughts this week. Try and keep it positive. If you don't meditate, here is your invitation to do so. I use a great app called Insight Timer. It is free. You can download many guided apps, so you don't have to worry about having the right technique or anything like that. When I first started, I felt like absolutely stupid. And I remember saying to my guide, my mentor at the time, I'm like, it's not working. I'm just sitting there like listening to someone teach me how to breathe. And it was like, stick with it, Ali, just stick with it, okay? 5 minutes a day, stick with it. 5 minutes turned into 10 minutes a day before, you know, I still wasn't seeing any results. I think it took about 3 months for me. But I was very anxious. I had a lot of anger. I had a lot of things that I hadn't worked through. And now it's a daily habit. I meditate morning and night, sometimes at lunch. If I can get in a 4th one, I will, because it just helps me ground my thoughts, and more importantly than that, allows me to react in the way that I want to, not in an off-the-cuff way. So if you are suffering from anxiety, I highly recommend that. And when I say that, because it's like I said, I had the 8 of Swords and the 9 of Swords. But in terms of love, I feel like it's you're ending this cycle, okay? This cycle of feeling trapped, this never-ending cycle. And I say that because you have the 8 of Swords coupled with the 6 of Wands, and the 6 of Wands speaks about victory. So I feel like maybe this is something you're finally getting control of, Libra. Maybe you're getting on top of your thoughts. Maybe you're finally being able to find that control. At the bottom of this, you have the Tower. So usually when I see a combination like this, where you've got something that's quite within your control, so this is mental energy within your control about how you think and react to the world, coupled with something that's a card of victory about, you know, fame, fortune, being recognized, typically in the workplace or for something that you've done, with a major arcana of the Tower. It's almost as if something comes in this week that forces you to move out of this headspace and into this headspace. Now, people see the Tower and they freak out and they're like, oh, the Tower, da, 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 you know, what's coming in? I see it and I think awesome, because it's change. And sometimes we need that little shove or the push from the universe, you know, and we don't always like it. It can be things like, you know, the tire going flat, or getting a flat tire that forces us to put the car in for a service when we've been putting it off for so long, that could actually prevent us from having an accident. Or an argument with our partner that allows us to see their side of you when we've been maybe a little bit blinded. Or in this case, what I'm feeling when I'm looking at the rest of the cards is something at work that comes in that gives you recognition or praise. And that moment, in that moment, you're able to kind of see how you've been acting in your half of the relationship or commitment or couple or whatever it is for you. It's literally something like that. Something that comes in to go, hey, Libra, you're actually a bit all right at what you do. More than a bit all right. Thank you so much. We want to give you X. And you're like, did that just happen? Is someone praising me? Yeah. Am I actually, did I just, because you're normally so calm and level-headed and you're the peacemakers, right? You want everything to be kind of, everyone to have love, and you often avoid conflict. With that, sometimes though means that you don't stand up for who you are and what it is that you want, especially when it comes to intimate relationships. Now, obviously this is a general reading and it depends on where all the other planets are within your sign, but if that is sounding like you and you're resonating, I really feel like something's going to happen when you're going to get some recognition finally. And it may not even be from work. It could even be a simple recognition from your partner to say, honey, thanks so much for taking care of the kids. I've just had this realization that you do so much for our household that I want to do something to help you. Let's get a cleaner. Or let's move house. The tower can represent change, like house moves. Maybe you're talking to your partner about wanting to move house after the Christmas period. I am getting like in January. Because you're wanting to have a bit of stability right now. Whatever it is, however it plays out for you, there is something that's going to happen this week that's going to shock you, but I think in a positive way, okay? It's going to jolt you out of this negative headspace and put you in on the road to positivity. And then from there, it just looks amazing, Libra. You have the Starman coupled with the Ace of Cups. So this is the card of the Magician, because this is the Starman Tarot. So in this deck, it represents the Magician, number one. You can see that here. And the Ace of Cups. So you're manifesting this brand new beginning. And guess what? It happens right near the new moon. So for those that are single, put it out there, put pen to paper, write down exactly what it is that you want to attract in a partner. Because on top of that, you have the Ace of Swords. You get the clarity that you need to bring in this new emotional, abundant beginning, okay? And I think that clarity comes from just having a little bit of recognition. You know, and it's funny, after all, that's all we need sometimes, right? All we need is just someone to go, you know what? You're actually doing a really good job. Or I can't believe how you keep a household running and manage 3 kids. And for those that are doing it, I really don't know how you do it. Because it's crazy, it's pandemonium, right? And trying to find time for yourself and find that balance sometimes is really hard. And all we need sometimes is just a little bit of love to make us get the clarity to go, oh, that's all I needed was just that little bit of recognition. For those that are completely single, look at this. Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups. 2 aces. Like, please don't hoggle the aces, okay? Some of us want some aces. That's awesome. It's freaking awesome. I just feel like this week is the last final week of this kind of energy for you, Libra. That cycle that I keep talking about, that never-ending cycle. You're turning on this new path. It's like you've got a new trajectory. You've got brand new, bright new loves coming in, a brand new connection, clarity in your existing connection. And for some of you, you could be with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or it could just be you're taking on this kind of energy, Libra, that very grounded kind of got your shit together, know what your goals are, working really hard at work, just head down, bum up, trying to create that balance. And it's beautiful. All right, additional guidance for singles, Libra singles, from the 3rd to the 9th of December. Please show me, what do they need to know? My Librans. 1 card, please. Thank you, Eddie. 1 card. What do single Libras need to know? Taking their time picking a card for you. There. Seek. couples from the 3rd to the 9th December. One card for couples, please. Please show me. 2. Here and now and all that glitters. Interesting. All right, singles. Seek, number 9. So in traditional tarot, this is the card of Virgo, the Hermit. And it says, keywords are quest, understand, retreat, solitude, introspection, and guidance. Sometimes individuals become so engrossed in a relationship or in wanting a relationship that all perspective is lost. The relationship becomes their world and they lose sight of themselves. This is a card that suggests now is the time to take a step back, either from a relationship or from the desire for one, and go on an internal quest to rediscover yourself. One of my favourite sayings is, there can't be a we until there's a me. If this resonates with you, it's time to have a dialogue with your higher power, aka your higher self, and your guides about who you are and who you really need in your life. You may be surprised by the answers. Wow, it's deep. And it could be for some of you that are single that this is the final straw of you, like getting out of your head and letting go of a connection that's no longer serving you. You know, something that you've held on to, like the last strings of holding on to someone. Maybe it's deleting them off social media and no longer following them or seeing them in your feed so that you can actually detach and be ready for this new love that wants to come in. Because it's coming, okay? It's right there, that cup of love. Couples, here and now and all that glitters. Okay, 16, here and now. Oh, sorry, all that glitters. And the keywords are a need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask. Sometimes we try and become something we're not in order to impress others. We embellish a story a bit, adding some dramatic elements to make us more appealing. Never do that. The real person, however, becomes hidden behind the sparkle and the shine. Then there are times when we don't see the true value of someone else because he or she may not have seen the glitz and glamour that seems so desirable. Now is the time to look past the surface, beyond the mask, to the essence of a person, who that person is, not what he or she has or can give you. See beyond the glitter and look for the inner glow. Use the eyes in your heart and let go of the artifice to see what is authentic shine. So for some of you, I really feel like it's about seeing your partner in new light, about actually seeing themselves as who they really are, not, you know, it's kind of like when you start dating and it's all rosy and then finally you break down bit by bit until you get to the real person and it's like, okay, now I can see what you're like when you're hangry. That's hungry and angry for those that don't know. What you're like when you're, you know, sad, what you're like when you're tired, that kind of thing. I think for some of you, it's about getting to that real authentic stage in your relationship, okay? And, you know, even those that have been married for 20 years, don't tell me you know everything about your partner because your partner's not the same person they were 20 years ago. People change. And in a relationship, it's important to constantly check in with your partner and be like, all right, who are you? Where are you going? What do you need now? Speaking of now, here in the now, this was your other card. The key meanings of this card are being fully present in the moment and living one day at a time. It's easy to yearn for a love affair or a friendship you may not have right now, or one that is more romantic, more fun, more reliable, and more passionate. The good old days are gone and a new day has dawned. What was I just saying about people changing? Let your heart trust that you have everything you need right now, and whether you have the relationship you desire or not. Tomorrow is beyond your reach. Yesterday cannot return. Now is all that is available to you. Stay present and aware that in this moment, as you cherish and approve of your beautiful self, you are a magnet for love. Spirit is madly in love with you right now. Did you know that? Turn to Spirit to feel the joy of love in the here and now. So this is really embracing the present with your partner, but it ties in perfectly with what I was saying before about how people change and the need to check in. And I think it's a dual message with this card, right? About breaking down barriers to get to the real person, to the real self. If this is resonating with you, Libra, and it's taken you a little while to actually sit down with your partner and check in, this might be the perfect week to do that. Just check back in and maybe just go, hey, how are we going? Are you happy? Is there anything I can do to make your life easier? Because I think if you do, it'll bring you really beautiful rewards. All right, Libra, that was your reading for this week. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button, the like button, and I'll be back with you next week. Take care.